Good afternoon, Codger Biker here. We got 29 degrees and my Mudguard is rising. I spoke too soon. Under the trees it's only 27 degrees. Virtually winter. Shall I put the heated grips on? Yeah, about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I don't think it's that hot, but it's very pleasant. Okay, well, we're just going out for a little ride just to test out my latest addition, which is a Mudguard riser. Not an essential item, but as part of my ruggedization for the nation program, which so far has included the new bash plate, the headlight support, the Barkbuster handguards. I've now just taken a bit of a gamble really. There is a Touratech Mudguard rise kit for the 1290, the 1090, the 1050, the 950, I don't know what it's for. It doesn't mention the 790, but I'm pretty sure they all have the same mudguards, so I just took the risk because one thing about the 790S is if you are riding off-road, the mudguard is nice and low, so it's good for the road. You haven't got that sail in front of you that you get with the trail bike or the 790R, although I don't think the 790R is a problem. Some people say it is. I don't think it is. I think it looks good. But I didn't really want to put let's let the ambulance go. I didn't really want to put a 790R mudguard on this bike. Quite happy with the S, but I did notice when I did take the mudguard off there was quite a lot of mud under there in the winter. So, and I quite like the idea that the Tenere 700, you can lift the mudguard up on that, and also I believe the Royal Enfield Himalayan. So I thought we'll have a bit of that. We'll have a bit of the old mudguard lifting. Lift your skirts up when you're going through the mud. So I fitted that. I'm just going to ride around a bit and see whether it feels any different. So far, feels like the bike as usual. The only minor issue I had with it is that to tighten it up, it moves a little bit, the bracket. So I thread locked it, tightened it reasonably tight, and I'll check it in a week in case it's moved. I think it'll be fine. I did some time ago, I've forgotten actually, that I did fit a fender extender to stop it from throwing mud up into the bash plate. So lifting the mudguard by an inch or so, I suppose, it makes the fender extender even more necessary, if you consider it necessary at all. I just like to keep the mud out of the engine compartment as much as possible. So there's no harm in that being on there from as far as I can see. Check the steering left to right, everything seems to turn okay. So although it's not marked as a 790 Adventure part, I think it's okay. Anyway, let's head out into the countryside a bit and have another look at it. In the meantime, I'll show you how I fitted it. It's not difficult. So these are what I'll be using. I'll be using Allen keys, Torx keys, the instructions. Doesn't matter how simple something is, you could do this wrong. Look, the washers go on the inside, and the Touratech bracket. Now you may have spotted a deliberate mistake in that install, in that you have to have the black arm of the mudguard on the outside. I think on one side, I've done it before as well, you can fit it with the orange over, but it doesn't fit properly because the bolt's actually not threaded in one part to fit, and the mudguard's sort of recessed there to take it. So make sure you put the black part of the mudguard on the outside. Doesn't really do any harm if you don't. I have corrected it. Just something to mention. Yeah, so the mudguard, just national speed limit, went a little bit above. Can't feel any difference for the extra inch, despite what they say. That extra inch hasn't made any difference to the way it rides. Everything feels just the same. So as far as road riding goes, I'm happy with that. As for keeping the mud out, well, as you can see, we've got a heat wave. Hasn't rained for a while, so there's no mud, but I have little doubt that it will help should the mud return, which it will. This is England, we do mud. Okay, I'll pull over in a bit, let's have a look. Okay, so here we are in a countryside, and as you can see, oh, there is a puddle there, so have been through some mud, bit of mud on the back tyre, but you know, the roads around here tend to get a lot of it, so we've lifted the mudguard up a little bit, gives you quite a bit more clearance underneath there, so that when the mud does come along, we should have fewer problems. They seem to fit okay. I've got them both about the same on both sides. You can sort of tell when you've got it in the right place, because you can access this Allen key just there to tighten them up. So that's kind of a rough guide. If you can just about get the Allen key in there, you've probably got this arm in the right place, because that does move a little bit. So thread lock it and the job's a good one. I'm happy. Are you happy? Let's do some riding. Codger Biker is out.